It was what we would call now a wonderful shopping centre, because everything you needed was on that Deckham stretch.
Well, we didn't have a corner shop as such living on the main road, although there were shops opposite. But my mother bought virtually everything at Deckham Co-op. And I remember, and we had a check number, 21588 it was. And every so often she would get her divvy, and then we would all take a trip down to Jackson Street store and get new shoes for Whit or Easter or Christmas or something like that. The divvy was always spent on shoes for us.
We shopped at the Co-op in Deckham, and after I came out of school on a Thursday night, I used to meet her at the Co-op in Deckham to help her to carry the shopping home. And we also used the other little shops that were in Deckham as well. We did have a corner shop which was virtually across the road from us, Crags it was called, on Highcliffe Gardens. We done quite a bit of shopping in there, mostly daily things like bread and stuff like that.
The Co-op or the store, going to the store, was fabulous. It was an outing. There was a great big food hall, counters all around. And if you were lucky, it would be a day when they'd had or opened a barrel of butter. And the hoops from the butter barrels would be on the floor in the food hall, and you could play with them. Great. You got your butter, the dried goods, the sugar, currants, etc., were weighed out and packaged in the dark blue bags. Fascinating to watch. Everybody good at their trade. There was the hardware upstairs. Remember that? Buckets, mops, things like that. Very basic things that people needed, because people, well, cooked from basic ingredients. But upstairs, in the hardware, was where people went for their divvy. Fabulous. And you queued and got your divvy. It was a great highlight. People depended on it and bought things with their divvy. Rainy day money. I don't remember the number.
Blackburn's Pawnbrokers was up there on the front. I used to go to the laundrettes, 71, to wash me loons. Before I went out on a Saturday night, I get them washed and dried. Even sometimes they didn't even need washed, but that was just kind of the culture then. I remember Dumler's Pork Shop, and I think they had a little cafe as well, which just used to be on Durham Road, top of Shipcote Terrace, turn left. And that was pulled down, I remember, about 83, 84. These are all my kind of memories. And I just generally remember Central Gateshead, you know, if we come out of Shipcote Baths, you could get a bun and a gravy for about twopence or threepence. Gravy, like a gravy dip they were called, and they were legendary.
Check numbers, yes, we did have a check. It was 19755 was our check number, and you still remember these things today, you know, and there was always huge queues there, and it seemed as if it used to take absolutely ages to get served. The time they packed everything up and wrapped everything up, they were so precise in doing all these things and that, and then of course I had to help to carry the shopping home, which was a good way.
Where we lived, there was everything you needed: butcher shops, fruiterers, wet fish shop, chemists, now what else? Hairdressers, tobacconists, sweet shop.
There were several shops that I do remember. We were in what you would call the top block. You know, you were in blocks in those streets. We were in the top block nearest Raby Terrace. And go to the top, turn left, and the first shop was a wonderful shop called Brown's, and they made homemade, you know, bread and cakes. And then near there was a chemist. I can't remember the name, but that's that one. And then further down, there was another Brown's, but it was a butcher, nice butchers. And then before that, there was what we used to call in those days a posh. general dealers. Why posh? I don't know, because it was nice inside, but they all were nice and clean. But there was something about it, wider aisles than the rest, and everything looked so much brighter. You thought, oh my goodness. But we did shop there and thought that was the posh shop, that we'd elevated ourselves, you see.
Another thing I used to love was when the fish man came into the back lane and shouted. I can't remember, I don't know whether, I think he just shouted fish. I don't think he shouted colour herring or anything. He shouted fish. And my mother had a very small enamel washing up bowl, and with sixpence, he would fill that bowl with herring. And that made 2 good meals for 5 of us, which was very economical.